Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to David at Go To Hobbies. Right, welcome. First of all, if you hear some strange noises, that's either my stomach, the dogs, the bird outside, the dog's growling. So I'm in a family home, and if you hear the floor creaking, that's my daughter walking across the floor. So just be aware that there's some other noises besides me, and don't start barking as they're looking out the window. It's normally the postman that walks past and they go, rah, 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 rah. So, as I said, by cue, my daughter's walking across the floorboards. So, these modern houses, they're not like old houses. You could walk across the floorboard and you don't hear anything. You could drive a tank across the floorboards, you wouldn't hear it. Only speaking theoretically. So, right. Now, driving to survive. We are going to talk about, I'm just thinking of a good subject. Speed on a motorway. Now, you're driving at, say, 70 miles an hour. You've got reasonable experience on driving, but how do you become a safer driver on the motorway? You're reasonably competent. But you feel that you could learn something more. If you know certain things, that's good. But the purpose of this video is to bring your attention to certain things. And one of those things is your thinking and your understanding about what you're doing and how you're doing it. I'll give you an analogy. You might be thinking about something, right? You're thinking about what you're going to have for dinner tonight or what you're going to do tomorrow. That is a distraction. When you're driving on a motorway or when you're driving full stop, it's easier to let the mind drift onto other things instead of concentrating on the road. You need to be focused. As a professional driver, it's a different story because you have got to keep your mind focused on what you're doing, and you might only drive 1 hour or 2 hours in the day at the most. Us lorry drivers or professional drivers, we're driving up to 9 hours a day. So if you feel tired after driving an hour, you imagine what it's like for a professional driver. It's very, very exhausting. Not physically, but mentally. And that's why you see so many fat drivers. Ho, ho, ho. And yes, I've got a fat tummy. I'm not huge, but it's manageable. Yeah, I could lose a bit of weight. And since being a lorry driver, I think I might put on a few stone. But at least my stomach's not touching the steering wheel yet. That's a story for another day, isn't it? God, yeah. Don't get me started on fat drivers. Right. Hazards of driving. Anyway, nothing against fat drivers, or skinny drivers, or tall drivers, or short drivers. I'm just saying, because I'm a fat driver myself. Ho, ho, ho. Right. Anyway. Okay. So, where were we? So you're driving along the motorway and you want to improve your skills. So what can you do to improve your skills? 1, good observation. So you're always looking in your mirrors, you're watching what's going on in front of you, behind you, on the other side of the motorway coming towards you, to your right, making sure you're aware of what's in your blind spots, what your speed is. So good observation. Right. Anticipation. What's a good anticipation? Knowing what the vehicles are doing in front of you, knowing what the vehicles are doing behind you, to the right, to the left. You are watching what they're doing, you're monitoring them, and you're aware of what they are doing. And the other thing is when you become aware of the sixth sense, it's a skill you pick up. It's your brain knowing what's going to happen before it happens, and you anticipate it. So you become more aware, more conscious of the art of driving. It is literally an art. It is basically a skill that you might just think driving is driving. It's not. It's a very, very intense, skill orientated process. The police drivers, the ambulance drivers, and the fire engine drivers, and the fire crew, and everything they have to do with driving, it's very, very much a skill, an art. And when I say an art, it's the knowledge of what you're doing, it's the skill that you employ to do it with, and it's knowing how it performs. In other words, what the course of actions are. In other words, what you're doing, how it influences other people, and what they are doing, how it influences you. And I will say it again, it is an art, because it is an understanding, a knowledge, a skill, and everything else that goes with it. So the art of driving is about understanding what's going on, how it's going on, why it's going on. So you're driving along the motorway, as I say, and you see a situation arising. You know what's going to happen before it happens. That is where you become a good driver, because you can now anticipate. You've got a good observation. So that way you can use your skills to mitigate the circumstances to an event. So the vehicles in front are slowing down. How do you warn other vehicles on the road? One of the most important factors people fail to realise is pushing the hazard lights on. It means there's a hazard up ahead. The people behind you not realising that. You're giving them a heads up. You can't stick your hand out the window and go, wave, 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 slow down. No. Use your hazard lights. You use them to warn other road users of a hazard ahead. They might not see it, you have, so that is why you should do that. So, as I say, it's an art of driving. It's a skill. And we'll talk about other skills about driving in other videos. And this video is about what do you do to recognise an event coming up. So it's good reading of what happens on it. It's just like reading a book. You get into the book, you start reading the story, and you start anticipating what's coming ahead because of the way the story is unfolding. And it's like a film. It is still a similar sort of basis that you are getting to know what the events are, how they become together, and what actions are likely to follow. Use whatever analogy you want to. At the end of the day, it's your anticipation, interpretation, and understanding and the knowledge of what you've learnt and how you're learning all the time. Don't think you can stop learning with driving. It doesn't work that way. You are continuously learning, picking up new skills, new knowledge, new awareness, new safety and preventions. And that is why I'm making these videos, to help you become a safer driver to get home to your loved ones. If it saves one life, it prevents one injury or one visit to the hospital, doctors or whatever, I've done my job. And that is why I do what I do. So, on that basis, hopefully you found the video interesting and helpful. Please give it a like. I'll be very grateful. And if you subscribe to the channel, it will allow the channel to grow even further. And by actually liking the channel, if you click the like button, that gets this video out to other YouTubers and people that are interested, and people that YouTube suggests it to. That way, if it saves one person's life, we've done a good job. So, hopefully, next time, you've learnt something more. So, as I always say, drive safely, be safe, and think safe. Till the next one, bye bye for now. Take care, bye bye.